Hello. So today's video is about anxiety. And I did this painting as a follow-up kind of to my grief painting. So if you haven't watched that video, you should subscribe to the channel and comment below if you have any experience with anxiety, anything you want to say about it, or just say hi in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Now watch the video. I always like to start my paintings with this wash in the background, just depending on what color scheme I'm using or what palette I'm using. It depends on what colors in the background, but I do like to use like a really loose wash, so mix lots of water in there and move the paint around. And then I blocked in all the highlights first, and I think that was a mistake. Now looking back, after I've really completed most of the painting, I think I should have done the deep values first, but you live and you learn.
Which happened on a rocky outcropping above Oregon's Yosemite River. Once we reached the summit, our instructions were to anchor a rappelling line by tying it to a tree, he wrote. Then we were...
Getting started is always a thing of hesitation. First thing in the, well, it's probably not the morning, but as soon as I decide to start a project, then there's this moment of like, oh no, you know, what if I don't do it right, or what if I mess up? And that's part of the anxiety that I'm painting, to kind of try to see for what it is, and, you know, separate myself as a person from that feeling of excessive worry and the self-doubt that comes with, you know, anxiety. I think I really hated this painting for most of the process. As I went along, I definitely experienced anger and frustration, and I think that shows, especially in that lower face there. Especially as we move on, we'll see. It was a really difficult painting to complete because anxiety is something I experience on a daily basis, and it's kind of I don't want to say ever present because it's not every moment, but it is kind of there in the background a lot. And it can just be really frustrating to not feel like you're in control of your own emotional life. And especially if you are not in the place where you can pinpoint what is causing you to feel the way you feel, you can really feel, you can get, it can feel like you're crazy. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I don't feel that way as often as I used to. Not nearly as often. But there definitely was a time where I could not function. Like I could not go to work. I could not leave my home. And I do experience times like that still, but they are fewer and farther between than they used to be. So if you're experiencing difficulties with anxiety, just know that therapy works, meditation works, but they only work if you put in the work. I think the saying goes, it works if you work it. So that's my little soapbox for this video.
Do not
What are we
step
doing?
on the crank. By this point, visibility was less than 10 feet, and winds were getting stronger. After leading the group past the crack, Summers moved ahead.
We're gonna speed it up again. I'm just keeping my brush strokes pretty loose, trying to place, I'm trying to do some color mapping and also placing the features where they go. Watching this back, what I'm about to do to that, I think that is what made this painting kind of, you'll see later on that I have to do some real changes where the eyes are concerned, and you know, the placement of the eyes wasn't great to begin with, and here begins the struggle of me trying to make the eyes look the way I want them to look, and like they almost do, but I can see right here that, you know, they're just not in the right position. So that's frustrating, but I could talk a little bit about the sun, and its role in this composition is kind of to shine this overexposed kind of light on the faces, because that's like how I feel when I'm having an anxiety episode. I feel very overexposed, like everyone can almost even like tell what I'm thinking, and they're criticizing what I'm thinking and doing. I know it's not rational. That's why it's a disorder, right? But yeah, I wanted to include the light and the dark, not just for contrast in the composition, but because I feel like hiding a lot of the time. So the dark place is kind of like, where I'm trying. Oh, here. See, I covered up the eye. I knew I was going to have to fix it. But anyway, that's why the light and the interplay between the light and the dark is there. Yep, still trying to fix those eyes. Between this and the last clip, like, you can definitely tell a big difference between the placement of the eyes, and obviously I did that off camera. I just really needed to focus, and I like how it looks now, Doing painties? Yeah. Need some more water? So this sat for a few days, and it felt like there wasn't any sense of relief in the painting, and that is not how I feel about anxiety. I do know ways to get through it and to make it easier, and I thought about it, and I was like, just take a breath. So I took this picture of me just looking inward. And once I started painting it, it felt so good. It was really fun to paint this. I wanted her to look like me was glowing, from the inside. And I just felt like it was the right move. And that was like the first time I felt that way this whole painting. So I was so happy the day I painted this head. Yes, it's working. I wanted this to look a lot different from the other two heads. It is a lot brighter. The colors are more saturated. It's not as washed out. Of course, the idea is that it's not being bombarded by this shining light, right? This blinding sun. Cool and calm, and is being touched by light, but it looks almost like that light is coming from within, and that's what I really wanted. It just feels good sometimes when you actually accomplish what you want on the first try, especially when you're learning a new craft. So painting this head was a really big win for me. So after I painted the third head, I sat again with this painting in my studio, and I was finally like, all it really needs is details. It's just some detail work. I felt like it was so close to finished, but I didn't know. Sometimes you don't know when to stop, so I didn't want to ruin it, But I finally was like, look, I'm just going to paint. I'm going to finish this painting today. Today it's happening today. And that was yesterday. So, final thoughts. Here is the completed painting. I think it turned out, as far as technically, I think it turned out really well. I did try, I used a new palette, or a new version of the palette that I'm used to using. I used the color composition to make it uncomfortable to look at. I used the physical composition of all the parts to make it uncomfortable to look at. It's a little unfinished looking. It definitely, like, isn't something that I would want to kind of hang up in the studio and look at every day, just because of the discomfort looking at it brings me. But I am really proud of it as an artist, and also I feel like I accomplished what I set out to accomplish, which is why I stopped. I know there are many things that I could continue to do to the painting, but I stopped because I felt like I had accomplished the brief, so to speak. You know, I made a painting that expresses how anxiety makes me feel. And I hope that maybe if you're watching this and you experience anxiety, or you have experienced anxiety in the past, or you do on a regular basis, I hope that something in this video makes you feel seen and makes you feel not so alone. Because anxiety is definitely isolating, or it can be. And I thank you for watching. I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video and commenting below if you have any thoughts. So watch one of these, hit subscribe somewhere here, and watch a video. And I'll see you next week.